Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at the Desert Bloom collection available right now from Cirque Colors. These polishes will retail at $12.50 USD. I will link the storefront directly down below. If you're interested, I also do have direct links in my blog. I'll link that down below as well. So these were sent to me for review, and I'll go ahead and get right into the swatches. So first up is Rose Canyon, and this polish is described as a rose pink nail polish with a fine black specks. So these specks are more in like tiny flake form. They're not going to add any texture at all to the nail. I think this color is beautifully work appropriate with a little bit of added interest. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how Rose Canyon swatched on my natural nail. Here's a look at that first easy coat. These go on so smooth, so easy. The formula is not too thick or too thin. It is a little bit sheer here with this first coat. So I'm going to go ahead, let that dry down, and then show you how it built up for me with that second coat. This one is easily and perfectly opaque in just two normal easy coats. I had no issues at all. These also do dry down fairly glossy. I do recommend going in, however, with one coat of your favorite glossy top coat just to help extend that wear time. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle under artificial lighting. Next up is Pebble, and Pebble is described as a sheer beige pink nail polish with a fine black speck. So this has that same fine, really tiny flakies running throughout. Again, no texture, just a lot of really cool interest. This is the lightest shade of the nude collection, so if you have a really pale or light skin like I do, I found this one pretty flattering. This first coat did go on fairly sheer, however, the formula is going to do an amazing job at building up on itself, so I'm going to go ahead and let that dry and then show you how it builds up with that second coat. Two coats, it did bring this one completely opaque. If you go super thin, you may need that third coat, but two was all I needed here. So here's a look at that completed mani at just two coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same lighting. So next up is Mineralized, and this is the last polish that has that fleck formula. So this one is described as a muted terracotta nail polish with those fine black specks. So this one is a little bit warmer, maybe a little bit coffee toned, still really cool and pretty on the nail. So here's a look at that first coat. It did go on a little bit sheer here. You can see quite a bit of my visible nail line. However, I can assure you that's going to go away with just that second easy coat. So I'm going to go ahead, let that dry, and then show you what that looks like. So two coats, again, full opacity with no problems. So here's a look at that completed mani at just two coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. And then this is my final swatch photo under that same artificial lighting. So next up, we're going to get into the shimmers, and I promise you guys I was not able to pick a top pick from this collection. None of these polishes was a disappointment either in the final look or application. So this one is for sure a stunner. This is Earthen, and it's described as a brown taupe nail polish with fiery red shimmer and delicate holographic sparkle. So here's a look at that first coat. The shimmers, I think only one or two actually needed that third coat, so a lot of these are full perfect coverage in just two coats. It is a little bit sheer with that first one, but two coats is really going to amp up that coverage. The shimmer does a great job at building up and adding that opacity. Sometimes my mirror has a tendency to kind of bounce back up underneath my nail line and make it look more visible than it is in person, but this one is crazy gorgeous under all different lighting sources. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath that artificial lighting. So next up is Taos, and I hope I'm saying that right, but this one is described as a teal nail polish with a vibrant pink shimmer and delicate holographic sparkle. So this is another gorgeous shimmer polish. That pink does a gorgeous job at shining through on this teal base. When I'm swatching it, it does look a little bit brighter on camera than it is in person. This reminds me of like a gorgeous, delicate kind of succulent shade where you have those pink tones and then those really gorgeous light teal tones. So two coats was really close to being completely opaque, and honestly my lights are super bright, so in real life you may be able to get away with just two. I am going to go ahead and show you how it built up with that third coat. I did appreciate this more at three coats for me personally. So this is one that's a little bit on the thinner side, but that finish and color combination is definitely worth it. So here's a look at that completed mani at three coats before a glossy top coat underneath that artificial lighting. And then this is my final swatch photo, again under that same lighting. So next up is Palm Springs, and this polish is described as a CM blue nail polish with a vibrant pink shimmer and delicate holographic sparkle. So again, you have a little bit of that holo going on, a whole bunch of that pink shimmer, and just a really cool, gorgeous color combination. Again, this does look a little bit brighter here in my camera than it does in real life, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how it applied for me. So this first coat did go on quite sheer, it did go on nice and evenly though, not a lot of brush stroking going on, no texture to speak of, just a really cool pretty color. So here's a look at that second coat. This is another one that I do recommend going in for that third coat. It did amp up that coverage, add more holographic, and add more shimmer, and just kind of camouflage my visible nail line a little bit. I do have a really hard nail line, so if you don't have a lot of free edge, this may not be an issue for you. So here's a look at that completed mani at 3 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then my final swatch photo at an angle again under that same lighting. I know this one is going to be gorgeous in direct sunlight as well. So next up is a Fate Morgana, and this polish is described as a lavender nail polish with strong copper shimmer and delicate holographic sparkle. So this one warms it up a little bit with that copper gold shimmer on this super light and delicate, gorgeous lavender base. So here's a look at that first coat. Again, my camera was like, didn't know what to do with this shade. One coat was fairly sheer, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how it built up for me with 2 coats. 2 coats was really close to being complete coverage. I think if you wanted to go in for a thicker coat, this would definitely be a 2-coat formula. I am going to go ahead and show you how it built up for me with that third and final coat. It did just bring this one to complete opacity with no issues, no brush stroking, and it did dry down fairly glossy for a gorgeous, what I feel like would be a work appropriate shade. So here's a look at that completed mani at 3 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same lighting. So next up is Wildflowers, and this polish is best described as a dusty violet nail polish with strong copper shimmer and delicate holographic sparkle. So now we're getting it away from the pink shimmers and more into the copper toned ones. This one is super beautiful if you are a purple lover. I cannot recommend this polish enough. Just really gorgeous and interesting on the nail, kind of unlike anything that I have in my collection. So here's a look at that first coat. It did lay down a nice base, but it was a little bit sheer. So I'm going to go ahead and add that second coat. 2 coats. Full coverage, no issues, no brush stroking, just a gorgeous, flawless, really cool finish. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting, and then here is a look at my final swatch photo. Okay, so this next polish is going to round out this collection, and it's so close to being the top pick, but I really loved all of these. So this one is a Dusty Skies, and it's described as a deep blue-violet nail polish with a vibrant pink shimmer and delicate holographic sparkle. So this one has that pink shimmer running throughout as well. Here's a look at that first coat. This one is super, super juicy. It is a little bit sheer here with this first coat. I do recommend going in not super thick like I tended to go there, but just being really careful with application to make sure that you build this one up the best that you can. So here's a look at that second coat. With 2 coats, it was on the edge of being full coverage. I did still have visible nail line. I did not film a third coat, but I do recommend going in for that third coat. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat, and then at an angle. Even at an angle here, this is 2 coats, so it's all super, super close to being full coverage. However, go in for that third, you won't be disappointed. So that does wrap up my swatch and review of the Desert Bloom collection. I cannot recommend these enough. I think Cirque Colors did a great job with both the color palette, the ease of application, and the range of colors. So if you're interested in seeing any more photos of any of the polishes shown here today, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.com, or you can also follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.